Now let's discuss the types of levers. Now why there is a types of levers? Simply if you look at the figures, it will give some idea. Now the first classification is based on fulcrum. तो fulcrum के ऊपर से हम क्या करेंगे, उसको classify करेंगे, right? The first order, second order and the third order. Now what exactly the meaning of these things, the first order, second and third, right? In case of first order, what we'll observe is the fulcrum is always in between the load and the effort. Now where you observe this such real-time applications, see the scissor. So here this point is fulcrum, and the paper that we are cutting, the load we are applying is called load, and by the thumb we are operating the scissor is called effort. So this is a classic example of first order lever. Here this classification is based on basically position of fulcrum only, right? Now here also try to see the toe bar, right? Toe bar में हम क्या करेंगे कि भाई किसी चीज़ को heavy lift करना है या फिर open करना है, तो we are going to provide a fulcrum over here. Just try to observe this can opening by the screwdriver, right? हम क्या करेंगे यहाँ पे जो can की जो lead होती है ऐसे screwdriver को ऐसे insert करते हैं. So this is your fulcrum point, and this is your load point, and this is your effort arm. Effort arm is very high or very having higher distance. Hence, the effort applied is multiplied by this distance, and because of a principle of movement. Hence, if you are applying 10 Newton, it become maybe 20 or 30 depending upon the ratio, right? So you can usually open this. But in all this example, what we have is fulcrum is in the middle of the effort and the load. That is why it is referred as first order. Now, in case of second order, what we have is, in second order, you can say the fulcrum is on one side, right? But by simply discussing that, it is not over. Here we have to keep the load at the center, or you can say the middle, right? And the effort is remain in the other side. Now, what are the example of this? You just see the wheelbarrow, where we have the load is at the middle. This is our fulcrum point, and this is our effort. So effort arm is higher with respect to the load arm. So we can lift very heavy load in wheelbarrow, right? Even this nutcracker example. This is our fulcrum. This is our effort arm. The effort arm is larger, and we are putting nuts over here. So nuts is basically our load, you can say, right? To whom we are going to crack it. So we need to apply load. So this is load. So here in class 2, or you can say the second order, the load is always at the middle and the effort is always at the far away end. And in class 3, what we have is fulcrum is also again on a right side, but here the position change. Instead of load is in the middle, we are putting the effort in the middle, right? So what are the examples? Like this is broom, right? So broom is example. So here what we are applying load over here, we are simply putting the effort over here, and this second hand that we are gripping the whole broom is work as a fulcrum. Now just look at the fork. Fork is also a classic example of third order, right? So here we are applying the efforts, effort P, and the load is over here, right? So here, so based on this, we have these three type of classifications. Now bell crank levers used in railway signaling arrangement, rocker arm in internal combustion engine, and handle of hand pump, handle of wheel of punching press, and beam of balance foot lever, load safety valves, pair of tongues, a treadle of sewing machines. All these are example. This is the case of third order, this is the case of second order, and this is the case of first order, right? Where by considering simply the position of fulcrum, we can design various levers, right? And which is helpful for operating the machines, right? कार का भी देख सकते हैं, तो कार भी कौन से आ रहा है? It is coming under the second order. Now let's talk about the another classification is based on number of fulcrum. How many fulcrum that you are using it? In case of simple lever, you have single arm, double arm, and angle arm. These are the classifications. And second is compound levers. Now in simple lever, we have only one fulcrum or maybe more than that. But here, let's say nail cutter, right? Now here, just try to see what exactly happening over here. Now we know how to apply effort. We are simply apply effort at this location, right? So this is simply the load point, right? But again, this is again became the fulcrum point. So we have two arms or two levers combined together. So this is the case of is a compound levers, right? Now in case of simple lever, what we have is one fulcrum. What we have is one fulcrum. Just look at over here. So this is again the rocker arm of IC engine, right? So here only we have only one fulcrum. In this case, it is again one fulcrum, right? But here we have one fulcrum, second fulcrum. So this is called compound lever. Now why it is required? When you have a very limited space and still you require a tremendous force, then you have to multiply the effect by putting two levers together in such a way that in a minimum space you can apply the effort and you can carry out your work, right? Now also take the example of this. Now third classification is based on application, hand lever and foot lever, how you operate it. If you are applying effort by simply hand, then it is referred as hand levers, right? If you use, let's say, brake, your car brake is a foot lever where you are operating it by using simply foot, right? Now this is again this metal cutting scissor is basically a classic example of compound lever, right? यहाँ पे देखिए एफर्ट कितना आ रहा है. सो दिस इज सिंपली वन पिवट पॉइंट एंड दिस इज लोड आर्म, दिस इज लोड आर्म एंड दिस इज एफर्ट आर्म. ठीक है. फिर क्या हो रहा है? अगेन व्हाट वी हैव इज दिस इज कटिंग ब्लेड यू कैन से. अगेन इट इज पिवोटेड, सो इट इज दिस इज फल्क्रम. सो दिस इज द केस, राइट? एंड दिस लोड पॉइंट, दैट इज दिस इज द लोड पॉइंट वेर वी आर अप्लाइंग लोड पॉइंट is multiply, right? So here what we have is load become effort now. हम यहाँ पे जो कर रहे हैं तो यहाँ से हमने एफर्ट अप्लाई किया, ये फुलक्रम है हमारा, ये क्या हो गया? लोड हो गया. वही लोड क्या कर रहा है? इट इज नाउ गेटिंग कन्वर्टेड इनटू सेकंड, फॉर द सेकंड लीवर इट इज बिकम द एफर्ट. सो दैट बिकम द एफर्ट, राइट? अगेन दिस इज फुलक्रम नंबर 2. So here we can easily cut it, right? So this example shows that by combining the levers parallelly or in such a arrangement, with the small space you can apply limited effort and you can carry out the heavy work, right? Now in case of design of lever, we have to understand certain term and how to find out the various dimensions, right? First, we need to find out the effort P required for given load value. This is very important and that will comes from the principle of movement about fulcrum. Now what does it mean? Let's say you have given a lever like this. Length are different, effort arm and load arm, right? Let's say this is load and this is effort you are applying, okay? You want to lift it. So if you know the distance, if you know any of this, we have 4 terms, right? What is movement? The load and its distance. If you know any of these two, left or right, we can find out the remaining term, that is load to be lifted or its effort arm, right? अगर दोनों में से कोई दो चीज़ दी हुई है, either effort or distance, then by considering this principle about fulcrum, we can find the load to be lifted. So mostly what we have given is in numerical, generally the load is given that you have to lift 10 kilonewton, find out the effort, and based on that we have to design the levers. So designing levers means finding out the cross section. Let's say this is rectangle cross section over here, right? So here in bell crank lever, let's say, or rocker arm, what we have is we apply the load over here and because of that it is tried to bend, right? So bending moment or bending stress is basically observed at exactly nearer to this fixed location, that is fulcrum, right? So we have to design a lever at this location. We have to find a dimension at this location, not at this location, because this location is far away from the fulcrum position and definitely the stresses are lower at this section. So, but as a mechanical engineer, we know that we have to find the maximum stresses. So, in case of lever, what we have is, we have to find a section at this location. Now, find the reaction at fulcrum. क्या करना है? We have to find the reactions. So, because this, we are applying effort over here and we are lifting the load here, these two forces are going to create a reaction force on the fulcrum. So, that we need to find out. That is for finding the design of fulcrum pin. Because this lever is going to swivel about the fulcrum pin, right? For angular lever having angle theta between two arms, let's say this is the case, right? Bell crank, अगर bell crank है तो उसका angle कितना होगा? 90 degree. That we have seen, right? Let me show you. So this is the case of bell crank lever, where the two arm having 90-degree angles. If it is other than that, then we are going to call it rocker arm, right? In rocker arm, it is other than the 90-degree. So how can we find the reaction force? This equation comes from the engineering mechanics, right? W square plus P square minus 2P cos theta. The rocker arm are having theta angle between them two arm. तो हमें ये theta कौन सा लेना है? Let's say we have given, let's say 120. So we have to replace this 120 over here, right? If it is bell crank lever, if you replace 90-degree, cos 90 become what? 0. So this term will cancel out and it become the simplified equation for bell crank lever, right? So whenever there is a design of bell crank lever, you have to go straight away by simply this equation, W square P square. You do not have to remember this. Why? Because cos theta become 90 and cos 90 become 0, right? So remember this equation, W square plus P square minus 2W into P cos theta. Now the third point of design is design of fulcrum pin. This is very important because it's a main element on which the whole lever simply swivel, right? So by considering reaction force RF, so first consideration is bearing failure of the pin. हो सकता है यहाँ पे फोर्स लगे तो इसका जो रेक्टेंगल सेक्शन है उसके ऊपर हम कंप्रेसिव फोर्स लगाएंगे. सो कंप्रेसिव फोर्स इज बेसिकली हियर इट इज बिकॉज इट इज मोशन वी आर गोइंग टू कॉल इज बेरिंग लोड, राइट? सो डायमीटर D and its length L. So this is the area on which the reaction force is acting, and this is bearing stress. We cannot term it as compressive stress because it is in motion and it is having lower value, right? So we are going to call it here the bearing stress or bearing pressure. The proper word is bearing pressure. Now second point is checking pin in double shear. There is possibility, अगर ऐसा हो सकता है कि लीवर की वजह से फोर्स जो आ रहा है यहाँ से shear off हो सके. Let me draw it separately. तो ये जो सेक्शन है यहाँ से क्या हो सकता है? shear off हो सकता है, राइट? बिकॉज इन लीवर इट इज इन हब. यहाँ पे क्या है? पिन है, समझ के चलिए. यहाँ पे बड़ी सी पिन है, ठीक है. अगर ज़्यादा फोर्स आ रहा है तो यहाँ से क्या हो सकता है? shear off हो सकता है. दोनों जगह से, यहाँ से भी shear off हो सकती है, यहाँ से भी पिन shear off हो सकती है, राइट? सो कंसिडरिंग दैट because that is a circular area, pin is basically circular, so we are having two areas, so 2 into pi by 4 d square, 2 into pi by 4 d square. Checking pin in bending failure. अगर पिन ज़्यादा लंबी है तो हो सकता है उसको भी बेंडिंग हो सकता है, राइट? सो वी कैन फाइंड बाय सिंपली चेकिंग द बेंडिंग स्ट्रेस जनरेटेड और इंड्यूस इन दिस नकल पिन by this equation. Bending moment is equal to bending stress is equal to bending moment divided section modulus Z, right? So if it is less than the induced permissible stress, then the design is okay. Now what we can say, now boss dimension is taken 2 times D. Now what is basically boss dimensions? So this outer diameter, this is little extruded part is boss, right? So outer diameter is taken as 2 times the inner knuckle pin diameter, okay? Now let's talk about the design of arm considering the bending failure. This is important. This is very important. Now here what we have to do is we have to find the first moment, right? Then we have to find out the stresses and you have to compare with the permissible stresses given. If it is less than that, design is okay. If it is more, then we have to change the dimension of cross section, right? Now here bending moment simply effort applied multiplied by the effort arm. Or maybe you have been given load and its arm. So both are same, right? Because lever is always swiveling about the fulcrum point. So movement about the fulcrum point is always same. Either you multiply W into load arm, or either you simply multiply P into effort arm, right? Clear? So that will give you the movement. Both way the value is remain same and it will be in Newton per millimeter, Newton into millimeter, right? What we are going to do here, we simply take a cross section. Let's say how to find a cross section, B into H. Now maybe you can take H is equal to 2.5 times B, or sometimes H is taken as 4 times B. You can take these relations and you can replace in Z value. Z is simply I by Y, right? And you have been given the permissible stress value and use these equations and find out the cross section, right? So that will simply able to take the given load. अब यहाँ पे क्या करना है, जो भी लीवर है हमारा वो कैसे काम करता है? कैंटिलीवर बीम की तरह काम करता है, राइट? यहाँ पे भले ही यहाँ पे पिन हो, हम यहाँ पे क्या कर रहे हैं? लोड अप्लाई कर रहे हैं. तो कैंटिलीवर बीम में क्या होता है कि जो भी लोड अप्लाई करेंगे तो बैंड इस तरह से होगा. So maximum bending stress will be observed nearer to the fulcrum point, right? So we have to design cross section over here, not at the far away where we apply the load, effort. So this section that we have to design. Earlier in all the cases, what we have done, we are simply finding round bar diameter, the height and depth. Here it is same case. We have rectangle section of a lever, right? Mostly. In that case, B into H we have to find out which will sustain the given load. So, but for that we have to find out the Z, right? But here, because both B and H are not known to us, we can simply take the relationship. That is, height can be 3 times B, or height can be 4 times B, or sometimes heights can be taken 2.5 times B, right? By taking proper relationships, right? You can simply modify the Z value. That is, you can convert the whole value into one term. अगर हम ये नहीं करेंगे तो क्या होगा? अगर z की बात करें तो i बाय y होगा, राइट? i कितना होगा? हो सकता है 1/12 BH क्यूब हो जाए, राइट? दोनों ही टर्म क्या है? अननोन है. अगर उसको डिवाइड करेंगे y से, दैट इज h/2, तो होगा क्या? h निकल जाएगा. लेकिन BH बोथ आर अननोन टर्म. वी कैन नॉट सॉल्व दिस मैथमेटिकली. सो वी हैव टू टेक द रिलेशन बिटवीन दिस टू टर्म्स. वी कैन टेक बिकॉज दीज आर द टू डायमेंशन ऑफ अ गिवन क्रॉस सेक्शन. ये दोनों ही क्या है? क्रॉस सेक्शन के दोनों ही माप है और कुछ नहीं है. सो वी कैन सिंपली टेक अ रिलेशनशिप कि एक है, दूसरे ज़्यादा है, डबल है, या 3 गुना है, या 2.5 गुना है. सो सिंपली वी आर बाय टेकिंग रिलेशन वी आर कन्वर्टिंग दिस 2 variable into 1 variable, and then we can solve the equation. Otherwise we cannot solve the equations, right?